This is the privilege of a lifetime. I've had quite the journey, and I'm not supposed to be here today. And in this lesson, millions of people can change their lives when you let go of the matrix world and you follow your heart. 8 years ago today, I created a quantum event. And I did something that I wasn't supposed to do. I wasn't supposed to go out on YouTube and make world famous videos to improve the lives of others across the world. That wasn't my identity. I lived a common life, and I had a great job, just like many of you. And people over the years have asked me, how do you do this? How do you change the timeline? How do you quantum shift? 8 years ago today, I quantum shifted. In the moment when I posted that video on the 528 hertz frequency, the miracle tone, we created a miracle. We created a miracle. And at first glance, it looked like nothing. The video's not going to win a Tubi. I use it as a teaching tool for other people. And because I had the guts to do something that I've never done before, I created a catalyst event that put me on a new trajectory, which is known as a timeline. In this lesson today, I'm going to be sharing a lot about this journey. If you're new to the channel, I'm Michael. I discuss ascension, psychology, and quantum shifting. Do you want to quantum shift your timeline? Buckle up, kid. I got the evidence right here. To be pushed, sometimes, our lives, it gets very intense. And sometimes it could be a physical thing, and sometimes it tugs at us at the heartstring. But these are the signals that God gives us, the motivation. It's actually beyond motivated, driven. I was driven to do these things. And, it really was a privilege of a lifetime to have the experiences that I've had. A lot of people understand the ascension journey. You become spiritually awakened. And the truth of the matter is, to shift the timeline, you're going to have to push through fear. You're going to have to go through events known as the bridge of incidents. You're never going to see these things coming. And in your rational mind, because none of this reality is physical, it's actually quantum. And you're going to learn this today. Poppy loves you. Thank you so much for the super chat. You did it, telling the truth. Bless you always. Thank you. So grateful for your support. And we love and we all feel. Just keep going, kid. 8 is great. Everyone's going to hit 888 for the abundance code. I'm going to give you the truthful abundance. You want abundance codes unlocked? You're going to get them today, kid. I've had the privilege of a lifetime, and I've unlocked the true quantum abundance codes. What really is the abundance code? In the past couple of days, on my thumbnail, I was going back to some of the original videos and videos throughout the past 8 years. And, looking back at some of the old footage and, some of those original thumbnails and really going back to those original videos, and, some of them are 5 minutes long. I had so much fun, and I, purposefully went to different locations out in nature to film the videos. and really reflecting on those original videos that maybe didn't get a lot of quote unquote views at the time. But the fun that I had, the memories that I have had in those original videos that I made, and really just sitting here and reflecting on it, it really is a beautiful thing. You know, people see this stuff, and I need you to understand, you know, if you want to change your life and you want to get towards a vocation in life, a purpose in life, you might have to do, you know, the thing for a sustained period of time for free. Over a year and a half, I was working for free. So a lot of people in the world, they're going to hear that and they're going to say, no, thank you. And I understand. But this is, if you look at the outcome, it is the most valuable thing in the world. And, you know, as I constantly move forward, if anyone that decides today, you say, you know what, I want to go through the videos, you'll see every about 6 months, I go through a different phase. And I'm here to tell the world, this is about passion and purpose over the crowd noise. You know, I had a vision in my mind, and I wanted to bring the vision, what I really had in my soul, in my heart, the inner child that wants to birth something. The creativity comes from the inner child. And I put my passion and purpose over the crowd noise. There are people that will go out there and it's cookie cutter stuff. And I didn't want to fit in. And I came to stand out, and going through this, to go through the individuation process, it's a very fiery time. And I went through so many experiences of a lifetime that you can't put a price tag on. I'm not supposed to be here today. Like 95% of the world will go with the program of the world, and they'll, whatever their job is, if it was science teacher, then it was going to be science teacher till 55 with the golden handcuffs. And because I went through this, through the quantum event, because I crossed what is known as the bridge of incidents, I crossed this bridge. I didn't get afraid. This is why we train light warriors on this channel. Are you a light warrior? Click subscribe, take the journey. And I crossed the bridge of incidents. All these incidents in my life where my life imploded and I didn't understand. And then I had all of these enriched experiences when it comes to wonderful places and wonderful people. I would not have these experiences of visiting these places. I would have been reporting to the same building over and over again where a lot of people got sick, and I was free from that. I get to experience all the beautiful people that have come into my life. I had an enriched experience in life with people, things, situations that I've never would have had if I didn't make the one decision. The quantum shift is a decision. 8 years ago today, if I did not make the decision to go with my heart to do something that I've never done before, I would still be in the same situation. That man that looked like a deer in headlights, he had quite a pair that day. It takes a lot of guts, brothers. It takes a lot of guts to put yourself out there. Golden Lioness, thank you so much for the super chat. Not fitting in with NPCs is the best thing. Thank you so much, Golden Lioness. I appreciate you and I love you. And, you know, going through the process over the past few years and visiting different places, working on my neuroplasticity. And, you know, we have to realize we have to train new neural pathways in the brain. If you want a totally different life, you have to change the neural pathways in the brain. Otherwise, you will loop the same life over and over again. in the vibration of gratitude. Even though I went through so many crazy things in the past few years, I'm so grateful to God for these experiences. And it's like a game. Desperado's Plunge. Check out that video. We went on Desperado's Plunge. And you have to learn first. And the way that we learn is when God throws us into the wilderness. And there's a lot of time spent in isolation. And the people that you connect with through the frequency shift, you're going to meet these beautiful people, enriched connections that are not part of the modern world. Some people, they will never know who they are. They're looking at a spouse and they never experienced life. It's all that surface level regurgitation of and then you meet these deep spiritual and conscious people on your journey. Once you make that quantum shift, once you make that first step. And I'm here to tell you, I'm here today at the end, and you will go through this authentically. If you go through it, you will go through it alone, but you are going to have the greatest people show up for your journey. In the world, it's a mainstream media, the look at me world. But to truthfully grow and expand, you're going to have to do things on your own, and to go through the process and stay in the path. Regardless, you could say they're tests from the universe, but they are constantly, course navigational points, and you're going to have these events. But throughout this journey, I would not be here if it wasn't for great people. Jill Warsaw 888, thank you so much for the super chat. Your evolution looks good on you, brother. As it disappears. Thank you for taking the leap. You helped change our lives. Namaste. I'm so grateful, Jill Warsaw. 888 today, baby. I appreciate you. Today we start the abundance code. I'm here today because when I started this, there was a group of people that resonated with my soul. And even though the videos that I put out in the beginning, maybe they weren't the best quality videos in the history of the world, but these people they saw something in me, and they decided to show up every time. In the beginning, I only really posted once a week, okay, and I went through the transitional phase, and in our lives we don't just press go and go. There's always shifts of the timeline. And we go through periods of time where it's a season, and this is what I did in the season. But I had, great people, and it was a great experience to, see total strangers, show up for my content and what they had to share on both the platforms at the time. So, if you think about that, the power that a person has when something resonates in the heart, you don't understand the magnitude of the butterfly effect of what it's going to bring later on in life. So just like the seeds that we planted over the past 8 years, and every year there was something. I could go back and I could go through the first year that I was posting things, and not the amount that I do now. But year after year, there were certain things that clicked. I can share with the whole world today. It is always an internal shift. It is always, every single time, it is an internal shift. And each time the internal shift takes a click, right? You don't see it maybe in the physical world, but in the future, like I could turn around and look at myself 8 years ago and have a conversation. And I am exponentially greater because I became 32 times greater every single year simply by becoming 1%. Do you want to become 1% better? You don't have to be perfect overnight, but if you have the drive, to learn something new every single day, to just become 1% better, which means there is a plethora of things in life, and maybe you can't get 1% better on this certain attribute, but you could do it on a different one. Sometimes we have to rest. Sometimes we have tons of energy. We're constantly learning and observing. So we're actually supposed to learn from that. I am nobody I am. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful. Thank you very much. The experiences that you go on through the journey, and the random people that showed up to encourage me off of the internet. Sometimes God sends strangers, and these random people show up and they give you encouragement, and that's God speaking through the people. Sometimes people say, I'm going to pray. But God is working through synchronicity. God is working through the people that are on the same resonance as you, and through divine timing and divine connections that are specific. So, each code is a different specific thing that's going to unlock something inside of you, a connection, an experience. And over the past few years, I've gone through many of them. And they all serve the purpose, but it's not always the magnitude. It's not always the fireworks all at once. Sometimes they are. Anastasia, thank you so much for the super chat. Learned so much yesterday from great people. I appreciate you. Yes, check out yesterday's podcast if you're going through deep changes on the inside, right? Deep changes are occurring, and they're always occurring. They happened for me years ago. They happen for me now. When we move forward in life, we never know what to expect, and we live a certain way. And I'm alone most of my life, to be honest with you. But there was a season in my life where a soulmate appeared, and in life, someone that you connect with, maybe from previous lifetimes. You go on a mission. We go on an ascension mission. And through that season, it was for my transfer and to reflect on my life. And there was a lot of stress. A lot of people remember post 2020. And, I have fond memories of that time period. And I appreciate the time that was spent. And I, you'll never know, what. That's why I'm really focused on teaching people about stress. And to be under the amount of stress that I was, and so many people across the world post 2020, and you never really got to time to enjoy certain things. But sometimes a soulmate will come into your life, and you have to get to a next destination. And I know that I would not have made the jump required without the assistance of that soulmate at the time. And I'm very grateful for that time period in my life. And, as we are breaking through the frequency fences, is always divine timing and synchronicities. Each time in our life, I lived in certain paths, and you're gonna learn this when you start to recognize different people. You'll recognize different people through their frequency. And sometimes, we go through a season of the wilderness. Sometimes we have to go through a season of transfer, and sometimes we have to go through a season of inner growth. To have an experience, and it is going through this process for every divine masculine to understand this and understand how this truthfully works. You go through the process, and you will be in the wilderness most of the time. But God will send the divine feminine oracles to your everyday life, and to be the privilege of a lifetime to meet over the course of time so many sharp women. And this is imperative in this modern world. When these women that will cross paths with you for reasons and seasons, as a divine masculine, when the divine feminine talks, you are to listen very carefully, bro. Because these are your oracles, and each and every one of them are going to give you the knowledge that you as a leader are going to apply. And you want to tune out the noise, because you're going to see a lot of stuff that's out there in the mainstream world. But the people that show up in your life, and it's a privilege of a lifetime to go through this incredible experience. Anastasia, the divine feminine is wisdom, right? And I'm here to tell all the men, you know, when you go out in the world, and some people, they might have just got trapped in a relationship, and they're in a marriage, and they don't know anything else, and it's the same loop. And I know a lot of men struggle with this, but when you go on this journey and you get to experience all the different experiences of life, the great secret of the universe is unlocked, and then you will understand women. I know there's a lot of guys that are listening in, and you and you say to yourself, you can't understand women. Well, you can't understand because of, you know, if you go out in the mainstream world. But if you have the privilege of a lifetime to go on this journey and have these wonderful women show up in your life, and you have great experiences with them, and the knowledge and the energy that is exchanged to get the wisdom, you will finally understand women. And that is a privilege of a lifetime, because there's a lot of women that are out, there's a lot of men that are out there that don't understand women. And when you understand women, you know, then you have all of the, you know, everything that you need, and the focus and the frequency for your home. And when the one shows up, you have all of your systems and protocols in place. You cannot get this. You can't get this on TV. And the sad part of the world, that's why we're sharing our everyday lives here. Many people, right, like even women of the world, they have like this demented brain because of sitcoms on social media that portray the man or the husband as the buffoon. How many people have seen this in the world? You go out, you watch social, oh, there's my buffoon husband. And the women of the world think that, and they actually go for the buffoon, and their lives actually implode. So if you do want to work on truthful relationships, click the subscribe button today. Have you seen this behavior, or have you seen this on the sitcoms? Oh, there's my buffoon husband. And this was designed in your brain. So when you have dysfunction, one of the things that I've shared in you know, my journey, I've seen the two frequencies. And because I went on this journey, I'm able to articulate the two frequencies for the world. And one frequency is dysfunction, and the other frequency is peace. And when you see a divine masculine or divine feminine, it is peace. And when you have broken free of the matrix reality, the people that make it through this entire lesson today, you will definitely break free of the matrix reality. And your peace can never be disrupted again. So therefore, when that protocol is in place, you might go into the wilderness. You might have a lot of people fall off your timeline. And then you could sit back and you could watch. Brenda could totally relate to this. I appreciate the comment, okay? And then you look at the mainstream couples, the people that they're mindless, they're going along. The key frequency is dysfunction. Dysfunctional in the workplace, dysfunction in the living conditions, dysfunction in the relationship, or there is peace and a solid foundation. Over the course of years, going through this, the greatest and most powerful thing is what nobody saw. Nobody saw. And it's the foundation that you build with God. It is the foundation that you build with God. This is the representation of the subconscious mind. because no one's going to see what was going on in your subconscious mind. Physically in the world, people want that outer, valid, what makes it valid. Look at the numbers, look at this, look at that. And there are certain things, but what are the procedures and protocols? No two lives are the same. And how did those people, go about their journey? And how did you go about your journey? Did you stay righteous? Did you walk the path? And sometimes the longest path is the hardest path, but it is the path of refinement. Because I'm telling you right now, when it comes for the test of time, I take you out by the stones. It doesn't matter how much the weather erodes, the rain, the water, the ocean, they don't erode those stones. Your foundation cannot erode. So it's not about the popular thing, because a lot of houses, a big house of cards, but one little fake thing, one little exposure, and the whole thing comes crashing down. So it is imperative that you understand that when you go on this journey, the foundation, right, or the subconscious mind is more important than everything else. Let me get the quick fix. I see that a lot with physical wellness. When I go to the gym, people, they want to get the quick fix. Let me get big in a month, whatever it is. But what is the consistency, resiliency, and authenticity that are running in the background? The people that decide to continue taking this journey, this is the journey of empowerment. This is the journey of individuation, where you have broken free of mainstream society. Anastasia, thank you again. Alignment with your soul and the divine. I appreciate that very much. What is the abundance codes? Uncle, I came on this live stream. You told me you're going to give us abundance codes. You better believe it, kid. All right. The abundance. What is abundance? Is it $1 million? Is it $2.2 million? Is it all the money in the world? I've had a great privilege of a lifetime, and the community that's watched me the full time, they saw a man that actually had the guts to stand up to tyranny and allow his life to be taken away, because all that money, all that job, all that prestige, when you sell your soul, and a lot of people had to go through this, and you might have had to make this decision as well. It's not about the money. It's not about these things. It is the abundance of freedom, the abundance of experiences. So during the course of this journey, and this is the bridge of incidents, and there is going to come a time where everything is on the line, and you say, why am I being forced with this decision? The decision is the quantum shift. If I didn't make the decision to worry about my wellness, my worthiness, self-respect, and a lot of people woke up in post-2020. You're trying to make me violate my self-respect, and you stood up like the lion. I appreciate if you smash the like button if that resonates with you. It was not about all the money and the golden handcuffs. It was about freedom, the abundance of freedom, and the abundance of experiences. There is no dollar amount that I can put on all of the experiences. I would have had the same looped experience over and over again, and I never would have met all the people. I never would have visited I still would be in the same location. And I understand that these concepts are scary, and I lived through them. It is the only way, because there is no quick fix. It has to come from the energetic level, and it has to be embodiment, and you have to eventually, it's not every single day, this whole journey was some days there was meditative states. There has to be action. In this reality, once again, there must be real action in this reality. Not a fantasy, not just a vision board, not just pray. How do we actually pray? What does repent actually mean? Full videos on the channel page. And this process that I went through, there's a word for it. It's called abide. That is what the High Commander walked, especially over the past 3 years. Abide. Alone. Some people treat God like a genie in a bottle. You better rub me the right way. Toot, toot. I'm going to say a prayer. But are you out there on a daily basis? Or are you out there talking it out? Are you out there on the front line, grounding in nature, up in the hill, wherever it is? Abide with God. Because I don't have to pray, because I abide constantly. It's a constant connection. Do you understand me? This is the difference. You say, what's the difference? How is it? You can't just sit there and just say, oh, well, now I'm gonna, because God's gonna hold you close. And I'm gonna tell you, brother, I'm gonna tell you, if you're gonna be a divine master, you're gonna have to wrestle with God. Because who can with a man that has wrestled with God? And this is the answer, and this is the journey. Fit Brit writes, facts. These are the facts. Facts of life. Aslan, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful for that. I love you. Thank you for that. Namaste to you. Anastasia, me again. Hike in nature for miles, yeah. No one will understand the amount of miles that I've logged walking that beach. And many people will go through, when you go through this transitional phase, right? And I give you the science behind this too. You have to understand your nervous system. If you understand your nervous system and the feelings and emotions that you have, you can't just sit there. Oh, you're still in that job and you feel this, right? And I'm encouraging people. So your body is the tuning fork, which is your nervous system, to telling you the truth. I feel like this, my stomach is that, in this workplace, I can't do this no more. If your nervous system is not calm, your baseline nervous system, if you're in a relationship, or if you're tired of your behaviors, or if you're tired of the same type of people that you're attracting, you might have the same type of people that appear in a loop. Different person, same energy. A different job, you went to a different company, same energy, same result. This is the frequency, as Tesla said. If you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This life, the physical life, you can create it. And it takes guts to ignore it. Einstein said, reality is merely an illusion, albeit a persistent one. It's just an illusion. It's the residue of the previous frequency of yourself. And over the course of time, you're not going to see this. The seasons that I've been through, nothing ever changed overnight. Nothing ever changed overnight. But the consistency and the constant changes are what lasts for this big season that we're all headed towards. 21 million views. I appreciate everyone that's watched. 21 million views. A man that just showed up, never had a viral video, never had an ounce of help. 21 million views. The day is long. 24 hours in a day. This past year, 488,000 hours watched. Sometimes in our life, we don't realize the impact or what we're putting out into the universe. I don't really pay attention to these things, but in this mode that I'm in right now, I decided to reflect and go on my past and look at these things, and we don't actually realize these things. 500,000 hours almost of people listening and changing their lives. 500,000, not 24 hours in a day. So understand the magnitude that you have. I appreciate that. Lowell writes, get the message out there. I appreciate that. Hit the like button today, right? And again, you have to be consistent. Even if nothing moves, nothing's going to move for long periods of time. I've been through this. Every season that I've been through, it's been the most gruelingest season. It's been harder. You're going to say to yourself, why does my path have to be harder than everyone else's path? Because it's the refinement, because it's the threshing floor, because that's something that is so powerful that it's going to last going into, a lot of things can't last. Do you understand how rare authenticity is in this world? Alma, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Do you understand how rare authenticity is? Most people, they'll see things fade. You'll see the truth of what's behind people, and as the world is shifting, and we see this as the world that we live in day to day. We're on a different frequency now. It's a different operating system. The sun has changed. The frequency that we live in over the I can't remember. One of those very powerful videos that I did. And I was reflecting in the past 2 days, doing this and getting ready, and I said, wow, I looked at that video, how the Schumann resonance over time is going to activate the higher self. And that was like 4 or 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, some of the stuff that and sometimes I don't even understand. It's like I put something out there, and then it's like years later, it's like, what? Like you feel it. This is your intuition, right? And you feel it and you put it out. Say, I got to put it out. I got to say it. I got to speak. Right? It's so important to speak your truth. A lot of people were not able to speak their truth. And when you don't speak up and you're censored and you shove it down, your body is going to be unwell. It's going to be at dis-ease. But when you're speaking the truth, when you're the embodiment of truth, then all of a sudden everything starts coming back together. And it really has been a great and unbelievable journey that, I can't imagine if I didn't make, today is really focusing on the very first video that I put out, the very first day that I said, I'm going to go out publicly into the world. Anastasia writes, speak your truth. Thank you very much, Anastasia. I love you. The magnitude of that, and you could check out that first video. It'll be popping up on the screen for the replay. And the magnitude of it's not a stellar thing, but it's about what I'm able to teach over the years. I'm teaching people how to quantum shift. I did the video on a quantum event. You create the quantum event. And if upon that moment, it's always that when you're about to start something, that's why I say things with passion, with truth. Every time you're trying to level up and it's going to cause you to break through the frequency fence that keeps you in to the previous version of yourself, you are literally going to see the world come alive. Situations, Mandela effects, and NPCs that show up and try to give you advice, which is actually sabotage to get you to stay there. You will learn a lot on this channel. You will see the angels show up, and sometimes in life, the demons show up as well, and you learn from them as well. Our life is about light and shadow, and on my journey, I learned all about all the different beings of the universe. And if you have a consciousness, you are expanding, and you're not just regurgitating the program. Everyone deserves to have a voice in the world, and many people are misunderstood. A lot of people, when they go through such hardships, and that's why God makes you feel what the people are feeling. They wouldn't be there if they didn't, have such a rough go at it. Many people were born into this world with rough times. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. And every person that shows up, and again, everything's not going to be rosy-posy, But these are great people and some are going to be helpful, and some are going to give you life lessons, kid. Learn from them all. Learn from them, because none of this journey, it's going to be quantum chaos. You say, what the heck's going on? But I say, wow, if this like at first glance, and you got to hear this, right? That negative thing that, oh, I feel so bad. I say, wow, I wouldn't be here in this level. It was a learning thing. I thought it was a spookable, the person showed up, or the situation, oh, it's a big spookable thing. But from that situation or event, you're crossing the bridge of incidents. Anastasia writes, passion and purpose. Thank you again. I love you. So think about the things that you are putting off in your life. As we're getting towards the end of this very powerful podcast today, I'd like to tell the world that so many people pass up on their dreams. So many people pass up on authentic love, and they just become slaves to the matrix. And I made decisions. They were all quantum events over the course of my journey. But think about, even though like your life, you have to start really thinking about your life, and it's not always the fireworks. It's not like that. Everything came from that moment when I said press record and post. And it comes from the heart. This is the quantum shifting. Because if you don't move that first that first step, the butterfly effect, nothing after that first step would have ever been birthed. Every single one of the experiences that I've had, and I got to be a superhero. Carl Jung said, the greatest privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truthfully are. Today, on this journey, I could say to myself, I became who I truthfully am. I'm not the identity that I was, as whatever the matrix job might tell you, or the riddled because of society. A lot of us are just operating out of anxiety, and not really expressing ourselves, and express ourselves freely, regardless of what it is. As long as you're not disrespecting anyone else, express yourself. And you have to be the warrior, because every single time, and that's why I'm the warrior of all warriors, baby. Every single time you want to express your inner child, every single time you want to be authentic, the world, the gray world is going to pop up and say no, and you're going to say, not up in here, and you're going to be the fire horse today, and you're going to be revved up today, and you're going to burn the old world to a crisp, and you're going to keep going. Just keep going. It is the greatest piece of advice that I've ever given anyone, because I would not be here today from that first moment and all the quantum chaos. Just keep going. And as long as if you quit, it's over. If you say no, if you opt out, it's over. And I have a lot of respect for people. They might not be perfect, but they had the guts to start. They had the guts to try for love. They had the guts to do it. And I told you, it's about respect. And we respect one another. But there are some people in this world, they're so scared. I hope I can motivate you to not be so scared of leaving. And I know it's insurmountable. In a world full of fake, have the courage to be authentic. And that's where it's at. I appreciate you all. This has been a privilege of a lifetime for me. I am absolutely grateful for the community. I'm grateful for the people that have been here since the beginning. I'm grateful if you showed up today. It's good to see you. All right, so we have daily videos, 9 a.m. Eastern time, to help you become the greatest version of yourself. And we discuss ascension, psychology, and quantum shifting. We give great motivational speeches. Check out the channel page. And I'm grateful as we are constantly moving forward authentically. So grateful for the authentic community support. If you click like, click share. And today, after everything that I've shared, and some people have been revisiting some of my earlier videos, go to the channel page. You could check out the link at the pinned comment and review some of those original videos. And it might inspire you because you could see who I am today. That's why this whole channel is it's a teaching tool on its own. You could see my growth and expansion, and then it's going to inspire you. When you live in truth, brothers, when you live in truth, sisters, you give somebody else, a total stranger that's out there seeing you. Hi, you see me on TV. I'm on TV. Okay, you give someone else the permission to live in their truth. Right? It's a great thing. And then random people come over to you in the street. Say, you gave me I'm so grateful. Be yourself. Have the permission to live the life. Don't listen to the people that are trying to stop you. And it could come from your family members. It could come around the water cooler. It could come from the locker room. You're going to have all these things, I'm telling you. But in your everyday life, if you stand up and you say, not today, and you move forward, you will quantum shift, because the quantum shift is an internal decision, and you will decide. And then you're going to watch your life. You're going to watch the craziest things. And, you know, I kicked and screamed around. I don't understand a lot of the things. But in the future, we turn around and we look at the past, and then we could literally see our lives. It's absolutely amazing. It truthfully is amazing. There are certain, I could say, who's going to believe me? I've gone through these quantum shifts, and it's unbelievable in the future when you turn around and you see how all these things fit into each other like little puzzle pieces to get you to where you are today. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you. This is season 8. Season 8 begins today, and it's going to be great. Everyone today, if you watch and you comment below, write season 8 begins, because there is no off season to our everyday lives. It's true. There's never an off season, right? Certain sports have an off season. Your journey, there is no finish line. But season 8 begins today. I am the defender of our everyday lives. No matter what comes your way, light warriors, just keep going. I love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.